Uno. No. Hola. ¿Aló? Okay.
Do me a favor. On your cell phone or mic, go to Emunalive-com. Okay, click on my image, see if it's broadcasting live. It is with the expanded lens. So with the expanded lens, you get to see two people together instead of a single lens.
I'm going to bring the other one.
The rabbi can use this one.
Bring this one. Okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello. Can you hear me well? Emunalive-com. You hear well? Okay. Okay. Good morning, Kahal Kadosh. Shavua Tov U'Mevorach, to a very special class broadcasted live via Emunalive-com, in which today we have the zechut and the privilege and the honor of welcoming Rav Shalom Arush, coming all the way from Yerushalayim, the great rabbi. Is not a new face, not only to the Edmond J. Safra synagogue, but to the South Florida community that Baruch Hashem, the rabbi has been coming for a few years. Needless to say that the rabbi, all the way from Yerushalayim created a mega revolution in Avodat Hashem through the reinforcement of Shabbat, of Emuna, of gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of seeing the miracles that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does to us, and is responsible for helping, without exaggeration, thousands upon thousands of our brethren, men, women, and children, to find a way back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu through Emuna and Bitachon. So it's definitely a great zechut for me to give the rabbi my spot of my daily class in order to hear great words of Chizuk. And what a beautiful day to have the zechut of hosting the great rabbi by us, especially on the 11th day of Heshvan, which is the Hilula of Rachel Emuna, Alei Shalom, which automatically marks the birth of Binyamin, the son of Yaakov and Rachel. So Yiratzon, that the zechut of Rachel Emuna should pray to Borei Olam, as HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to her in the Pasuk, Min'ei kolech min bechi, בעינייך מדמעה כי יש שכר לפעולתך. Borei Olam tells Rachel Emuna, stop crying, I will take care of Am Israel. So this is definitely a very auspicious and a very holy and a special day for all of us, individually and collectively. The rabbi will be speaking in Hebrew, and Be'ezat Hashem with Tzlata Lishmaya, I will attempt to translate to the best of my abilities. The rabbi begins by enhancing the fact that today is the Hilula or the Yortzeit of Rachel Imenu, but the Torah makes an interesting description about Leah and Rachel. The Pasuk says, "Ve'enei Leah rakot, ve'Rachel hayeta yefat toar, ve'tovat mar'eh." The Pasuk explains that the eyes of Leah were swollen, they were red out of crying, but Rachel was beautiful. Rav Shalom explains why did Leah cry so much? Because there was an agreement made in the past between Rivka and Laban, and they said, Rivka has two daughters, or two sons rather, Yaakov and Laban. Rivka has two sons, Laban has two daughters. Let's make a shidduch. The older boy will marry the older girl. The younger boy will marry the younger girl. So Leah heard that she needs to marry Esav. When she heard of Esav, she cried to HaKadosh Baruch Hu constantly. When Rachel heard about Yaakov, Rachel was very happy. But the rabbi said that because Rachel did not cry before her marriage, she has been crying for 3,000 years.
באמת ללמוד מזה שאפילו אם אדם יש לו הבטחה על דבר שהוא מה שחלבנו אמרה שתוכנס שעד יעקב, אפילו עם כל זאת להתחיל את הכל בתפילות. אני מבקש את הדבר, לקבל את כל דבר, להלמד תפילות.
The rabbi, I will tell you one thing. The rabbi speaks 1 minute, I must take 3 minutes. Not because of inflation, because the rabbi speaks in codes. So the rabbi explains beautiful nekuda, beautiful point. And it says as follows. When Rachel heard about Yaakov, she felt that she hit the jackpot. Powerball, mega money combined. Can you imagine that? So therefore, she didn't pray much. She heard, oh, I'm having a great shidduch, Baruch Hashem. The Torah is teaching us that even when things are good, never be stingy or cheap when it comes to praying. Pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for whatever situation. Whatever matter you're going to go do, you're going to go see, pray to Borei Olam. No one understands truly the power of tefillah. But the power of tefillah, even when things are good, can only enhance and make sure that they have a long-lasting effect.
ואמרנו, לפני הזמן, בעצם כותב, שאדם צריך להתפלל על כל דבר. על כל דבר ודבר. ואם הוא מקבל בלי תפילה, אז הדבר שמקבל אותו זה בדרגה יותר נמוכה. כמו בהמה שמקבל בלי תפילה. לכן אדם צריך להתפלל על כל דבר ודבר, ועל זה התפילה הוא ממש, על כל דבר שמקבל,
The rabbi quotes the great Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, Zechuto Yagen Aleinu, Amen, that he says as follows: a person is pre-established in Shamayim to receive something, but that something can be enhanced. How do you enhance whatever Shamayim pre-approved? Short answer: tefillah. Let's say Shamayim pre-approved that you're going to have parnasah. Now the question is, how the parnasah comes to you? Do you have to look for it, or the parnasah knocks on your door? And not only that, the customer buys from you. Is he going to pay you, or the check is going to bounce? Or is he going to cancel the credit card after he received the goods? Has v'shalom. So the great rabbi says that even for any matter of life, and I will add my 2 cents besides what I've been saying till now, I am a believer on this concept, and I do it regularly. Regularly. Every day before I give a class, I make a personal prayer. It's not too long. My prayers are quick and short to the point. But I do understand what the great rabbi just mentioned, that even when things are good, keep praying for them. And the beracha will be determined based on your prayers.
טוב, הזכרנו את רחל הבאנו, אחרת דיברנו קצת מהתפילה, אבל באמת עיקר הנקודה שאני במיוחד באתי בנסיעה הזאת ללמד את עם ישראל, לחזור עליה, ללמד, לעשות, זה אהבת ישראל.
One of the main purposes of the rabbi taking this trip, which if you follow the schedule of the rabbi, is a marathonic trip. Friday, Shabbat, Mega Shabbat, last night, now, tonight, tomorrow, plus whatever is waiting for him in the New York, New Jersey area. And the rabbi comes with a goal and with a message to work and to develop a segment of our life that, as a rabbi, I'm telling you, requires improvement. The topic of Ahavat Israel, to love a fellow Jew, which is obviously one of the 613 mitzvot of the Torah, but we give the chance to the great rabbi to share with us beautiful insights.
אני בעצמי, עד ל"ג בעומר האחרון, שבו היה האסון הנורא, אני בעצמי גם הייתי בחושך. לא ידעתי את כל העניין הזה של אהבת ישראל. אפילו אני.
The rabbi says that till this Lag BaOmer, which unfortunately we know that Lag BaOmer was tainted by an unfortunate tragedy in Meron, in which 45 of our brethren perished tragically in the holy site. The rabbi says himself, he was in darkness concerning this topic of Ahavat Israel. That tragedy reactivated this concept in his mind.
מה התחדש לי? ודאי שידעתי שיש מצווה מדאורייתא של אהבת ישראל, ואהבת לרעך כמוך. ודאי, זה אחד פרק מצוות. ודאי שידעתי. אבל לא ידעתי את שלה, ואצל השם ברח, ואת גודל החשיבות לטיפול של כל בן אדם ובן.
The rabbi explains, of course he was aware that there is such a mitzvah to love a fellow Jew. At the end of the day, it's one of the 613 mitzvot from the Torah. But he was not aware how beautiful and how powerful is this mitzvah in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and how this mitzvah can be part of the spiritual tikkun, the repair that every human being as a Yehudi must achieve throughout life.
קודם כל, לפני שנסביר, צריכים לדעת שעד שעם ישראל לא יגיעו באמת לעניין של אהבת ישראל, לא יבוא משיח, לא משנה מה יהיה.
We need to know, and I'm not happy to say what I'm going to have to say, but I have to say, because I'm a translator at this moment, that until this area in our life as Yehudim does not see an improvement, Mashiach's arrival may be still stalled for a bit longer. Chas v'shalom.
כבוד הרב אומר חס ושלום, זה לא קללה, זה מציאות. לא גידלתי. זה מציאות. אז יש תנאי שרק אם התנאי הזה יהיה, יבוא משיח.
The rabbi clarifies that what he said should not and cannot be taken as a curse, but actually the rabbi is opening up our eyes for us to wake up and to realize that this specific aspect of Ahavat Israel enhancement is a mandatory requirement for Mashiach's survival. Be'ezrat Hashem.
כן, ממש, לנו שמספיק את להסביר את הנקודה הזאת, ודאי שאפילו הרמב"ם יש בפירוש של המשנה, אז הוא שם כותב שכשיגיע הזמן, לא יביא את גבולתו, יבוא לעולם, יעשה שלום בעם ישראל. רק אחר כך יגיע למשנה.
The Rambam in the introduction to the Mishnayot brings the famous pasuk that discusses about Eliyahu Navi's involvement prior to Mashiach's arrival. And one of the main goals and purposes of Eliyahu Navi coming before Mashiach's arrival is to set the stage for Mashiach's arrival. And how that stage is going to be set, Eliyahu Navi will activate peace and harmony among all of Am Israel.
למה? אז יש היה צדיק, צריכים להכיר אותו במשה, הרב יוסף סברץ, נתניה, קוראים לו הסלם. והוא סיפר שהוא פגש את משיח בירושלים.
There was a story with a great holy person in the city of Netanya. The rabbi had the honor and privilege of meeting him, and he was lovingly called Safra, which means the grandfather. And he said that he had the privilege of meeting Mashiach.
אז הוא חשב, הוא רצה לגלות את המשיח לעם ישראל. הוא פגש את המשיח, דיבר איתו, חשב שהוא יגלה את המשיח לעם ישראל.
So after this Rabbi Yosef Schwartz, met Mashiach, now he wants to do plan B. Let me publicize in the world who Mashiach is. The Mashiach is here.
אבל בשמיים לא היו רוצים מה שרצה לעשות. לא משנה מה שהפריעו לו, הוא אמר לעצמו שהוא עשה הרבה תשובה, הוא עשה הרבה תשובות על זה שהוא טעה, שעכשיו לגלות את המשיח, לפני שיגיע הזמן שהשם יתברך יוצא של מה שיתקדם.
So when this rabbi announcement worldwide to Am Israel, Shamayim was not pleased with that mind or that action. And they created many obstacles until he realized that it wasn't the right time to reveal Mashiach's identity and its arrival. And he did a lot of teshuvah and fasted many days in order to atone on the sin of wanting to expedite Mashiach's arrival prior to the proper time that Shamayim has in storage for us.
הוא הסביר כאילו בשמיים אמרו לו, כל זמן שיש עדיין שנאת חינם, לא יבוא משיח.
There was a heavenly message delivered to this great tzaddik. It says, wanting Mashiach to come, beautiful. We all want this for 2,000 years. But you're missing one component, he says. What is the component? When as long as there is animosity and dislike among Bnei Israel, that blocks the release of Mashiach to the world.
הוא הסביר נכון, המשיח היה בעולם, הוא דיבר איתו. אני גם זכיתי ללמוד חבודה, לכבוד דברים רבים, הרב מרדכי שערבי. למדתי איתו ראש בראש חבודה. וגם שאלתי אותו, כבוד הרב, מה עם משיח? אני מכיר אותו בירושלים.
The rabbi had the zechut to learn for many years one of the greatest mekubalim from Yerushalayim, from the past generation, the Rav Mordechai Sharabi, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. You know the books that have the filot, pink, green, yellow. That's a rabbi in the picture. That's him. He's buried, I think, in Harasatim. Right? On the other cemetery in Yerushalayim. And the rabbi, learning with this great mekubal, asks him one day, what about Mashiach? He said, what about Mashiach? Mashiach is in Yerushalayim. I spoke to him already.
אבל למה, אפילו שמשיח נמצא בעולם, הוא לא מקבל את הנשמה הכללית, שיהיה לו נשמה של משה רבנו, שיהיה לו. רק אם יהיה שלום, אז מקבל את הנשמה הכללית.
Just to clarify for the Kahal, in every generation there is Mashiach. There is a potential Mashiach. The Gemara writes that Mashiach was born in Tisha B'Av. And every generation there is a potential Mashiach. But when does Mashiach gets this power of revealing himself to Am Israel? When he receives the Neshama Kelalit. Neshama Kelalit refers to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu carried the Neshama Kelalit of all of Am Israel. Mashiach needs to have the downloading of the Neshama Kelalit of Moshe Rabbeinu into Mashiach's Neshama, and when that happens, then he's able to affect each and every one of Am Israel.
הסברנו שאין מציאות שמשיח יבוא אם אין שלום בעם ישראל, אין מציאות.
The reality of life, as painful it is that in practicality, as long as there is no harmony among Am Israel, Mashiach's survival is not in the front line.
בל"ג בעומר, שהייתי שם במקום, ממש כמה מטרים איפה שהיה האסון, הייתי שם, וקוראים לזה פתח מערה של ממש כמה מטרים, אבל הייתי שם במקום. איזה שעתיים לפני שקרה האסון, ובזמן שקרה האסון, מה נשארתי שם? עד הבוקר, עד 10 בבוקר נשארתי שם.
The rabbi did have the honor of spending Lag BaOmer in Meron, including this year. The rabbi was only a few meters away where this tragedy struck Am Israel. And the rabbi did not leave Meron till the next morning, 10 o'clock. This incident happened the night of Lag BaOmer, right by the Petach of the Me'arat, where a lot of people gather thousands upon thousands, and he was there.
מיד אחרי פינו את כל הבניין, כמו אנשים שאף אחד.
After this tragedy occurred, the police obviously removed or evacuated every single person from that area.
היה שם שוטר, אמרו לו שהשם שלי זה שלום ארוש, מה? שבא לפה כאלה שלו.
So there was one police officer that they told him, the fellow there, that means the rabbi, his name is Rav Shalom Arush. He says, oh, that's the case. Tell him that he's able to stay here and tell him to bless me as well.
וכמה היה נשארתי בפתח נערה, כמעט לבד.
He was almost by himself for a few hours, right in the area where this tragedy took place.
ושם בכיתי, התפללתי, ושאלתי, מה קרה ולמה קרה, ומה הפתרון של הבעיה הזאת.
The rabbi, obviously in this difficult and painful moment, he cried. He cried to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and crying and asking for Olam, why this happened? What is the solution for this tragedy?
קיבלתי בלב שלי את המילים האלה, אהבת ישראל במסירות נפש.
So the rabbi, in this ordeal, feels that there are certain words that are highlighting in his heart. And there were 4 words. Ahavat Israel v'mesirut nefesh. To love a fellow Jew while making a sacrifice.
להתפלל התשעה על עם ישראל כל יום.
And to pray constantly, every day, for the well-being of the Jewish people, wherever they are.
מאז היום, גם היום, פה בימים, כל יום חצי שעה, לפחות חצי שעה, אני מתפלל על עם ישראל.
And he took upon himself every day, and he did it today already, every day, half an hour to pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu for the well-being of Am Yisrael.
וקיבלתי ככה כוח ורצון ללמד את זה את כל עם ישראל.
And he took upon himself, and he senses that he receives, Be'ezat Hashem, extra power and extra encouragement and strength to deliver this message, to make it a realistic part of the behavior of Am Yisrael.
כבר ביום שישי היה ל"ג בעומר, ובשבת כבר הייתי בבית, ובשבת למדתי שיעור בישיבה, ומאז בישיבה שלי כל יום עד שעה, ובמוצאי שבת היה הלוויה של תלמיד שלי, רב משה צרפתי, ואז בהלוויה גם למדתי על חצי שעה, ואז אנשים אמרו לי, כן, קיבלנו אז לא חצי שעה, ומאז עד היום כבר יש לי אלפים, ואני גם חושב את השירות שלהם. אלפים של שמות, ושקיבלו הזמן לעשות כל יום עד שעה, תפילות על עם ישראל.
So the rabbi explains that when he came from Meron, it was Erev Shabbat. On Shabbat, he already gave a shiur in the yeshiva discussing this idea to pray half an hour a day for the well-being of Am Yisrael as a nation. On Mosai Shabbat, it was the burial of one of the young students of the great rabbi that also perished tragically in the night of Lag BaOmer. And in the Levaya, in the burial, the rabbi also spoke openly about this particular topic. And from then on, many yeshiva students and thousands upon thousands of Yehudim took upon themselves to devote half an hour of the day to pray for Am Yisrael. And he has a list of the thousands of people's names for him to pray for their behalf as well.
בהתחלה הייתי מתפלל, ריבונו של עולם, תחם על כל עם ישראל, תחזיר אותם בתשובה, שלמה, בלי ייסורים, רק על העוון החמור והגדול, שהוא שנא תחילה.
In the beginning, the rabbi used to make the following prayer: Master of the universe, please enable the Jewish people to repent themselves and to get back to your beautiful ways of Torah, especially on the serious avon of baseless hatred, which was obviously the way the Gemara describes why the second Bet HaMikdash was destroyed.
אחר כך הבנתי לו, יש מושג שאומרים בכלל 200 מלא, יש כזה מושג. ואני, אז הבנתי, בכלל מיליון מלא. ואז תחתית לדבר על אהבת ישראל, כמו שכתוב.
So the rabbi explains that he started with this type of prayer, but then he realizes that the prayer needs to be reversed. I will explain something that the rabbi said in a code. There are two ways of praying. You pray and you highlight the misery or the pain or the suffering, or you pray and you highlight what is the good ultimate goal. So instead of praying, please remove baseless hatred, he says, bless the Jewish people to increase Ahavat Israel. They both the same, but the first prayer was concentrated on baseless hatred, and the second prayer, which is much more meaningful, in Ahavat Israel, the concept of loving another Jew.
הבנתי שברגע שאדם מתפלל, לפני שאני אסביר את זה, גם אני אשאל שאלה. כל אחד יגיד לי, טוב, שכנעת אותי, שבאמת צריכים לאהוב את עם ישראל. רק איך תן לנו עצה, איך נגיע לאהבת ישראל.
Now we have been saying several times in this speech, work in Ahavat Israel, to love a fellow Jew. Is that easy? How do we do that? Where do we begin?
איך לקבל אהבת ישראל? איך? אז שלך לנו אותי. כשאדם חצי שעה ביום מתפלל על עם ישראל, שיהיה להם אהבת ישראל, הוא ראשון יקבל אהבת ישראל.
It says, after the person takes upon themselves to make this holy, powerful prayer, it says that the first person that is going to be benefiting from this prayer, even though you're making a prayer for all of Am Israel, but because you are the one who said this prayer, you will suddenly get the spiritual boost of looking towards another Yehudi in a good and in a positive eye.
כי הגמרא אומרת, כל המתפלל הרבנו, נענה תפילה. ואני אומר, זה רק מתפלל על הרבנו, אבל אם מתפלל על כל ישראל, נענה תפילה שמתפלל.
The Gemara explains that if you pray for the needs of another Jew, one person, and you happen to have the same need, your prayer also benefits you. So if this is what the Gemara says, כל המתפלל על חברו, one to one. You, as a person, pray not חבריו on the friends, but the language of the Gemara is you pray for one Jew. So if this is the dividends that praying for one Jew brings upon the person, imagine yourself the dividends that it brings when we pray for all and the entire Jewish people. So guaranteed return you have on this Ahavat Israel for yourself.
ברגע שאתה מקבל אהבת ישראל, אז כבר ממילא אין לו קנאה, ואין לו שנאה, ואין לו תחרות, ואין לו עין הרע, ואין לו שררה.
Okay, the rabbi says, what are the dividends of increasing in honoring and respecting every Jew? First of all, jealousy will disappear. Envy will disappear. Hatred will disappear. Animosity will disappear. Disliking will disappear. Ain hara will disappear.
כמה עם ישראל, כמה דיברו רבנים, כמה לימדו, כמה התמיסו, לא דבר ראשונה. זה רואים קצת. למה? כי אין את הטיפול שורש. כשיש אהבת ישראל ממילא, מה, וכן נדבר על הבן שלי? לא צריך לראות כאהבה על ישראל. לפחות כמו הבן שלי.
So the rabbi explains that for many, many years has been a tremendous amount of reinforcement on not talking Lashon Hara. And although that is essential and there are many tactics and techniques, but we are not going to the root of the problem. So the root of the problem is what prompts a person to speak Lashon Hara? Lack of Ahavat Israel. So meaning to say that Ahavat Israel seems to be the antidote to all these poisonous deficiencies that a person can develop in their personality. Like medicine. Are you treating the root of the problem or are you treating the symptoms? That is the difference between, I'm sorry, Advil and Tylenol. Okay? But medicine, there are different types of medicines. One medicine deals with the symptoms, and the other medicine goes to the Tikkun Shoresh, yani root canal. You're feeling a cavity or you're doing a root canal. That's a $3,000 difference, but that's all different issue.
אז באמת, זה יוצא שזה טיפול שורש לכל הרע של הבן אדם. הקנאה, אדם לא מקנא בבן שלו. השנאה, הוא לא, צריך להגיד לה, לא תשנא את הבן שלך, אני קבל בביתה.
Right, the rabbi says, reinforcing it again, it says, if we take care of this love, proper, and respecting one another, automatically, why are you going to say Lashon Hara, or why are you going to hate someone? He's your son, he's your brother, he's your father. Why are you going to hate your son? God forbid. Are you going to hate your father? Are you going to hate a relative, a close relative to you? So now we look at each other as Kulanu B'nai Shechad Nahnu. We are one big family, and therefore enhancing and improving in this beautiful midah of Ahavat Israel can be the remedy of many maladies, could be the solution to a lot of spiritual problems or personality problems that a person experiences throughout their life.
באמת, למשל, מישהו יגיד טוב, אבל מישהו עשה לי משהו לא טוב, אז מה, איך אני יכול לאהוב אותו?
The rabbi asked an interesting question. All this sounds beautiful and sounds excellent for a Sunday morning. But what happens when, God forbid, somebody did something to us, hurt us, whatever level that may be? You're telling me now, love him?
באמת, אם זה היה בן שלך, היית שונא אותו? לא. אמנם, כואב לך, ואפילו יש לך צער, ואפילו אתה כועס, הכל, אבל לשנות אותו, אתה תתפעל עליו שאנחנו בתשובה, כי אתה אוהב אותו. נכון, הוא לא בסדר, נכון. אבל תראה איזה הבדל בין הבן שלך למישהו.
If this one person who hurts you or us is your own child, are you going to hate him? Most likely not. I hope not. But what are you going to do for him? You're going to pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu for the child or that son to do teshuvah, to repent.
בגלל זה, שתפלים, שיהיה לעם ישראל אהבת ישראל, אז הבן אדם מקבל אהבת ישראל, וזה נותן לו תיקון, כי הוא מקבל, לא רק שהוא מתנקם על רע שלו, גם זוכה שיהיה לו לב טוב, עין טובה, אוהב את עם ישראל, באמת, הוא אוהב אותו, פעל על עם ישראל, הוא פעל על כיסו, זה אין סוף, אין סוף. בכלל מיליון מלא.
The rabbi said that besides removing some of the deficiencies that we mentioned before from a negative perspective, a person that activates this essential concept of Ahavat Israel will also develop a great midah that the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot calls it lev tov, to have a good heart. And the Mishnah writes, Ola al-Gabehem, it's the ultimate. Then you have Ayin Tovah. Then you have a pleasant eye. You see everything in a happier way, in a more positive way. And overall, not only that, suddenly Borei Olam sees you. Doesn't mean that he doesn't see you. But now Borei Olam sees that you're doing something for him. Borei Olam says, you took care of me, I will take care of you.
אז לכן, זה חדש לי. תמיד דיברתי, כבוד הרב יודע, כתבתי ספרים ודיברתי, שאדם יעבוד, יעשה שהתבודדות, יעבוד על עצמו, יתקן את המידות שלו, ותמיד כתבתי ודיברתי, נכון? עכשיו הבנתי, נכון, ממשיך לעשות, אבל שאדם זוכה שעובד על אהבת ישראל, הוא מקצר את העבודה של עצמו, וממש, תמיד ממש, במיליונים של זה.
The rabbi explains that for many, many years, the rabbi, and it's a known fact, public knowledge, devoted thousands of hours and days and literally pages of books written about the concept of the concept of meditation, dialoguing with Hashem, and Emuna, etc. But this unfortunate tragedy gave him a wake-up call that this benefit of Ahavat Israel is a weapon, it's a therapy, so to speak, that can expedite the self-improvement of the person. Because by getting rid of the negative and by harboring only positive and good mindset, automatically enhances the personality of the person in a positive way.
שאני מדבר עם אנשים, אני אומר, תקבל הסליחה, כל יום תתפלל חצי שעה על עם ישראל. אז הוא אומר לי, מה המשכת אותי? אבל תני נדר. איך אומרים לי? אז אני אומר לו, תגיד בלי נדר על שבת, תפילין. למה אהבת ישראל? אתה לא מבין שזה, לפי דעתך זה פחות משבת ותפילין?
The rabbi encounters, as you can imagine, many people from all walks of lives. And many times the rabbi encourages the person that talks to him, take upon yourself half an hour to do this concept, this prayer of Ahavat Israel, etc. And many times people say, very neder, I'll try. So the rabbi said, what's the difference between the mitzvah of Ahavat Israel and putting on tefillin and observing Shabbat? When it comes to put on tefillin, you're going to say, very neder, tomorrow I will put on tefillin. Or very neder, next Friday I will observe Shabbat. Will anyone dare to say, very neder, I'll put on tefillin tomorrow? Is guaranteed. We wake up in the morning, we're going to put on tefillin. When Friday comes, we're getting ready for Shabbat. So why are we minimizing this mitzvah? It's the same Torah that has mitzvah of tefillin, mitzvah of Shabbat, mitzvah of mezuzah. It's the same one of the 613 mitzvot, which is the mitzvah of Ahavat Israel. And not only that, we can say without any fear, without any hesitation, that if you ask what is one of the most beautiful things that a Kadosh Baruch Hu loves, is when there is harmony and love and respect among Am Israel.
לכן, כל אחד צריך לקבל עצמו כל יום מתפעל חצי שעה, עכשיו אנשים יגידו לי, מה אני אגיד חצי שעה?
So the rabbi encourages people to take upon themselves this half an hour, but the question is, what are you going to say half an hour on this topic? Some of us, tefillah takes the whole tefillah takes 40 minutes. Now we're going to have to speak to Hashem and to pray for a specific 30 minutes on a specific topic. זה שאלה טובה.
אז קודם כל, למשל אני הכרתי, גם אני התפללתי על הילדים שלי 6 שעות רצוף על הילדים שלי. שזה אחד מהילדים שלי. צריך להתפלל, ואני על 6 שעות רצוף.
The rabbi tells a personal story that a while back he experienced a spiritual challenge with one of his own children. And the rabbi took upon himself to pray 6 hours continuously for Kadosh Baruch Hu to reset the neshama.
למה על שעם ישראל יזכו לחזור בתשובה על הדבר הכי חשוב שאתה מצטרף. אז אתה שואל שאלות, מה אני אגיד? אם אתה מבין שזה הדבר הכי חשוב, אתה תעמוד, תעזור, אני גם עושה את זה. חוזר, כמו שונה, מקום ישראל.
The rabbi explains that if this is what we do for one child, our child, whatever situation it may be, when you have the possibility of praying for every single one of the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, half an hour seems to be a minimal investment with an unbelievable amount of return.
תחננים, הגיע הזמן. יש סוף סוף יש עצה אמיתית, עצה ממש איך באמת לקרב את אמונה. סוף סוף יש.
Says finally, when Olam blesses us with having the acknowledgement or the awareness that there is a formula that can expedite Mashiach's arrival. אתה יכול ללכת overtime.
כן.
יש לך.
זה נקבע.
בסדר.
אז אני רוצה לאחל שהבן שלי נחמן שמע אותי שאני לומד את השיעור. והוא ברוך השם. מאוד עמוס. ברוך השם. אז אמר לעצמו, איפה נמצא עכשיו הזמן חצי ביום? בסדר, אמת. נכון, מה שאמר אומר זה אמת דבר. איפה נמצא הזמן עכשיו חצי ביום?
The rabbi talks about one of his sons named Nachman that is very busy helping the rabbi and doing a lot of good things. And he asked himself, where am I going to find half an hour to pray for this?
אם היו נותנים לי 1,000 שקל כל יום, כשהתברר הייתי מוצא זמן, אז עם ישראל פחות חשובים ב1,000 שקל.
So he made the following calculation. Imagine yourself, someone comes to you now and it says, if you pray half an hour for Am Israel, you get paid 1,000 shekels. American rate, $300, give or take. You know, sit down, cash, okay? You're going to take that. You're going to find the hour, you're going to sleep half an hour less, you're going to spend less time eating, you're going to find the time. So if this is between one person and another person, imagine yourself the power of the prayer benefiting all of Am Israel.
אז אמרתי לו, יפה מאוד אמרת, אבל אם אתה היית יודע מה שאני קצת יודע מה זה עם ישראל, אז אין איזה מיליארד דולר, אין איזה, כי אהבת ישראל זה הדבר הכי חשוב בעולם הזה. אז בכלל פה, למה בכלל היית צריך לשכנע את עצמך? כי אתה עוד לא הבנת מה זה אהבת ישראל. אז זה לא טוב.
There is no value to assess what does it mean in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to love another Yehudi. What that means is that if you think if they pay me 1,000 shekel or $300, I will find the time, it means that the person really doesn't understand what truly means the value of Ahavat Israel prayer.
בתיק שלי יש רשימה של אלפי אנשים, בתיק שלי. אבל פה בכיס שלי יש רשימה שעוד לא מילאתי אותה. כל הזמן אני לוקח את אלפי. אני רוצה שגם הם יצטרפו, וכמובן מי ששומע אותנו, אז יכול להתקשר לוואטסאפ.
The rabbi in his portfolio, in his koracha bag, had a long notebook, a large notebook of the thousands upon themselves that took upon themselves to add to the personal prayer half an hour for the well-being and Ahavat Israel, full of Am Israel. So far, since he came to Miami, he was able to had maybe over 150, 180 names of people that took upon themselves to make this part of the daily prayers. And anybody watching via itorah.com or anybody here, feel free to approach me via WhatsApp or email or in person. Give me your name, give me your mother's name, and then we'll compile the list and give it to the great rabbi for him to add us to his personal daily prayers.
כשאדם נושב את עצמו, זה נותן לו כתוב זאת לסגר, זה נותן לו כוח לקיים את
There is a concept in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, the pasuk actually from the Navi that talks about an overdraft protection account. And I use the business term because I'm looking around the room and I see a lot of business people. What is overdraft? Overdraft means that when a check is about to bounce, the bank makes sure that the check gets paid and they charge you a fee for that. In Shamayim, there is such a book, it's called Safra Zikaron. It says many people may give the verbal commitment, Rabbi, God willing, I will try to do. But once you put it in writing, your name goes in this Sefer HaZikronot. Remember Ahashverosh that had the book called Sefer HaZikronot, the book of memoirs? In Shamayim, there is the same concept.
אני גם מתפלל עליהם, אני מזכיר שמות פעם אחת כמובן, ואני מתפלל עליהם כל יום, בהתמודדות, ובגלל מעזות הרמן, ובמקווה אני תורם בשבילים, כל יום תפילה, כל אלה שקיבלו עצמם, ובקברי צדיקים, אני מתפלל עליהם כל הזמן שיהיה להם כוח, ולזכות, להתפלל על הנושא.
So the rabbi says that not only that he thinks about and reads the names of all once a day, but when he makes his personal prayer known as Hitbodedut or Kadosh Baruch Hu, whenever he goes into the mikveh or he goes to the Tzadikim, he also mentioned the names of every person in the world that is on this list, that took upon themselves to pray for Ahavat Israel, for love and harmony among the Jewish people.
תדעו לכם שכבר נעשו הרבה דברים מאז שהתחלתי לגייס את הפרסים הזה. נעשו הרבה דברים גדולים, ממש כל מיני חסרות שעשו שלום, אני לא אגיד כאילו בכבוד האנשים, נעשה שלום, ואפילו עכשיו יש איזה עוד מקום שהתפקיד שלי עושה שם שלום, דברים ששנים היה שם המקוד. יש כבר, הרבה דברים, כבר אני אוהב, וגם אנשים, מקבלים מה שאני אומר להם, כי יש את התפילות.
The rabbi said, since he launched this campaign, he was instrumental and successful in achieving peace among different groups. For the respect of those involved, the rabbi does not say the name, but I can tell you that I do understand exactly what the great rabbi is referring to. And Baruch Hashem, there are signs of improvement among religious groups that for XYZ reason, for a long time, they were not seeing eye to eye. So he has a special shlichim, special emissaries that the rabbi appoints to try to negotiate a peace agreement. And we're talking about between Yehudim. We're not talking about Iran and Iraq. We're talking about Yehudim, observant, who put on tefillin every day and pray 3 times a day without going any further.
לכן אני מבקש שיבואו לאנשים אצלי, זה משמח אותי. כל אחד שיושב ומקבל שיחה, כל אחד, בראש שנה, יש לנו עוד חצי שעה ביום תפילות עוד נושא, בראש שנה, יש לנו עוד חצי שעה,
The rabbi encourages anyone who wants to take upon themselves this unbelievable new concept that we really, I must be the first one to say, never heard of such a thing till now, but knowing the rabbi and understanding the holy work that he does, he says every time another person registers to pray, again, it's not money, we're not fundraising, give me a credit card with automatic billing, no money involved, zero. You want to give money, the rabbi will not accept it, I'm telling you this. It's about the investment of praying. And it says that it gives the rabbi great hizuk to see the money Yehudim, whatever they are. Because at the end of the day, he didn't say this, but I'm going to say it. We are all on the same boat. We are all together. Even though we are in America, and we are in Miami, in Minigan Eden, obviously before Yerushalayim Eid Kodesh, but definitely this issue that the rabbi is referring to, it's a worldwide virus. Like the pandemic, Chas v'shalom.
אני אומר לכם, זה בגלל שזמן קצר, אדם עושה לעצמו את הטובה הכי גדולה בעולם, אם אתה מתפעל על מסתרת תשארים. עושה לעצמו את הטובה, עוד ממש, בוודאי שיזכר את כמו שלא במדבר הזה, בוודאי,
The rabbi says that a person needs to understand that besides the personal benefits in a person's life, as the rabbi mentioned before, can you imagine removing all toxicity from your life? And I'm not talking about food poisoning here. Toxicity in the personality, in the environment, and it brings tremendous amount of beracha, tremendous amount of things in your life. So therefore, it says, take upon yourself, guys, at Hashem, to achieve this.
שבוע יום פשוט, יש לי יום פשוט בלילה, שבוע, שנו, עכשיו אמרתי קצת, שיבואו, אני רק אחרי כותב, רק אז אני אומר, רק לעבוד בסדר,
This became the new motto of the great rabbi since the unfortunate tragedy of Meron. The rabbi extends his personal invitation to the Kahal, those who are able to make it tonight. Tonight will be a lecture on this topic, but in a deeper level. And as Hashem, this will take place at the Lighthouse Torah Project, right? Beth David Congregation. That is the beautiful synagogue located next door to Netive Ezra on 207th Street. Doors open at 7:30, and the lecture will begin at approximately 8 o'clock. Beautiful. So those that are able to go, tavo alechem beracha. So we give the gratitude to the great Chacham. We give gratitude to the great Rabbi for opening up our eyes, and we'll say Kaddish Al Israel right away. So this way we can close the recording live from via iTorah.com. We say a big Hazak Baruch to the members of the Kahal that are physically here with us, as well as to the wonderful ladies, and the mega Kahal watching live via iTorah.com. So in the song that Hashem, in the increase of Ahavat Israel, we'll have the Geulah before you go back to Eretz Israel.
Amen.
Baruch Adonai Yaolam. Amen.